Tomorrow, Wednesday the 17th of February, is the beginning of Lent, and we're calling the church to a season of prayer and fasting. Now, it's not a new or unusual thing for the church to do. For centuries, Lent has been designated as a time for prayer and fasting as the church prepares for Easter and Jesus' death and resurrection. Its focus might be best summed up as mourning and repenting over the sin and brokenness of our lives and also of our world, as a time for interceding and praying for our broken lives and broken world. And it's a time for renewing and reaffirming our absolute trust and submission to God amidst such brokenness. And it feels like there's a lot of brokenness around just now. The practice of fasting through Lent is part of that mourning, repenting, interceding posture. We deny ourselves of something or some things, most often food, in order to focus our whole being, mind, body, heart, spirit, time on God and seeking God for ourselves and for our world. But of course, fasting is not an isolated discipline. It is always to be partnered with prayer. That's the unique aspect of Christian fasting, the accompaniment of prayer. If fasting doesn't lead us to deeper prayer and connection with God, then it's really just about food, like another diet or an opportunity to prove or display how we can sharpen our own self-discipline or master our will. Now, managing food well and in a healthy way can be good for us, and sharpening self-discipline or mastering the will can be of real value, but it's not the primary purpose or goal of Christian fasting. That is reserved for God. He is the goal. He is the purpose, the passion of fasting. It's God we seek. It's God we pursue. It's God we cry out to. It's God we long for. It's God we need. And so our fasting is actually turned to feasting. Psalm 34:8 says this: "Taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the one who takes refuge in him." And so our relinquishing or fasting of something is intended to lead us into the deeper place of prayer and encountering God. And so when we're hungry in a fast, we pray. And we set aside times to pray in our fasting. And the times we might have given to whatever we're fasting, well, that's used for prayer too. It is a turning of our whole being from one thing to another, from natural need and desire to supernatural need and desire. And so our fasting becomes feasting. Taste and see that the Lord is good. Now, we can find fasting all through the Bible for all kinds of reasons, and tomorrow, Wednesday evening at 7:30 p.m. on our regular weekly Facebook live stream, we'll share some of those biblical reasons for fasting and some of the ways we can fast as we get ready for Lent. But in the meantime, why not read Matthew chapter 6, verses 5 to 18, and listen in on Jesus' thoughts about prayer and fasting. And notice these two phrases from verse 5 and verse 16. Jesus says, "when you pray," and "when you fast," as if to expect it of his followers. So let's enter this season of Lent by following Jesus and discovering the gift of prayer and fasting. Here's 3 ways in which we often practice fasting over Lent. Fast one thing for the whole season of Lent, maybe a type of food or drink, social media, TV time, and substitute it with times of prayer, especially when the cravings come for whatever we're fasting. One thing. Or fast one meal per week or per day, and use that time to pray instead. And of course, when you get hungry, pray. Or fast one day, a 24-hour period, maybe one day a week or a fortnight, and really focus prayer on those days. And of course, please only take on a food fast if you're medically able to do so. There's plenty of other ways to fast and pray, so it doesn't have to be food. Lent starts tomorrow, Ash Wednesday. So today, take time to think about what you can fast, what you can give up as part of our Give Up, Pick Up, Pray Up theme for Lent. And together, let's experience that feasting in fasting as we passionately pursue God in prayer. God bless you over Lent.